Good morning. It is a pleasure to have Alice Nkunzimana, President and CEO of Papyrus SA, Société Anonyme, based out of Haiti, here with us to describe a little bit about the case study, what you do. Please, Alice, tell us a little bit what Papyrus does.
Good morning, Frank. It's great to be here. So Papyrus is a management firm, and we operate primarily in Haiti. We're headquartered there, but also across a few countries in Africa as well. And we essentially partner with organizations, put together consortia, and manage programming that's designed to enhance and improve communities. So they range in subject matter. So we have some programming in market systems in agriculture, for example, which allow smallholder farmers to improve yields, to aggregate, to have the right quality, and we link them to commercial markets. We also do work on citizen security, working in difficult neighborhoods, trying to find alternative means of livelihood for youth and for families. We work also a lot in governance. Governance means lots of things to lots of different people, but for us, it means all of the things. So we work with the public sector, the private sector, civil society to strengthen their operating models and help them progress. I'll stop there for now, Frank, because I could go on and on about what we do. But we like to think that we unlock the power of partnerships and connecting local and international aspirations. So
Well,
that's that for now.
thank you, Alice. And when we first started talking, I was so enthusiastic to start working with you because, as you know, I come from Africa and
Yes.
development and how do we make the world a better place, especially in areas which are not your typical environments.
Hmm.
And you have an unbelievable, when we started working, you said, we want to bring Haitian flexibility and ability to really take whatever is here and make it work into the model that we have. Which leads me a little bit, what were the challenges that we faced when we first started working together or before we started working together? What were the challenges as an organization that you had?
Yeah, so many. I think for us, the biggest challenge was that our model was working and it was working well, and we were succeeding, but we couldn't really grow any further. And because what we were doing was working, there was more demand, and we needed to expand. We needed to scale, and we were afraid that in so doing, we would lose what our special sauce we thought, which is our values and our ability to replicate our model beyond. And honestly, as CEO, I was starting to feel like I was losing. Uh, I don't want to say control, but yes, losing control of how we were expanding and how the brand and the special sauce was being spread. And we started to feel some cracks. You know, there were more and more challenges with people, more and more challenges with duplication. And that sort of snowballed with us feeling like maybe we weren't managing things properly. And we started to feel just a little bit lost,
Mhm.
frankly, and started to forget why we were doing the work we were doing because we were overwhelmed with the challenges that are inherent to scaling and growing.
Yeah. So you're a
Yeah.
family business, which is another one of my emotional hot buttons. I love to work with family businesses. What are the things that we were able to implement, the tools, the principles of EOS that we were able to implement that really helped?
I think for us, the two main takeaways, of course, there's so much, but on day one was just sort of the recognition that there was a method to get us through this. And it was sort of just like, okay, let's just jump in and get it done. It wasn't a long, drawn out process to see immediate change, particularly with finding the right people and putting them in the right seats and making sure that we all understood clearly what we were doing, what we were accountable for. But honestly, Frank, for me, there are two main things about EOS that are frankly mind boggling. And one of them is that it essentially institutionalizes consultation, which is one of our main values. And it also institutionalizes and operationalizes our values. So aside from all the other things that this process enables us to do, those were the two really that stood out because essentially without our people and without that internalization of those two things, we weren't going to be able to grow properly.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, the first times we met, we had some lively conversation around the structure, around who should be sitting where, and your role in that. Can you tell us a little about that?
Sure. Yeah, I think that was a really scary moment for both me and my integrator. So, this sort of recognition of the two roles, the dual nature of being a CEO, one being the visionary role and the other being the integrator role, which often founders, end up playing both, as well as chief cook and bottle washer in the beginning. But we had reached a stage where the visionary and the integrator roles really did need to be separated. And that honestly caused me a great deal of anxiety, not because I didn't think that my integrator had the capacity, but more because I felt like I was being put out to pasture. And understanding that that senior leadership team is actually deciding things in consensus, and that you're actually all there together consulting and coming up with the solutions, and that your integrator is there to support and integrate and make sure that the system is working. I think that was pretty mind blowing and also very difficult to swallow at first.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I can
and,
stop
and
there.
and during that episode, the next time we met, I remember that we had you had landed a big contract, and the conversation was, how did you do that? And that's the role that became evident. That's the role of visionary: get the big contracts, get the big relationships, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And frankly, it's freed me up. Another really interesting thing about EOS is this whole principle of elevating and delegating. And I think when you really sit down and think about what is it that you're good at, what should be your core focus, what should you be doing every day now that you've built this thing, and now that there are so many people on your team that actually have capabilities that are stronger than yours in the various domains that you are responsible for, what should you be doing? And I think that realization that that was what I was most valuable at doing, and that's what my team really wanted me to do, is to go out there and find those contracts and to lead with the joy that I used to lead with before things became overwhelming. So just being able to go back to being positive, to being enthusiastic, to being what was so appealing about myself and my role when I started, has been a huge relief. I think somewhere along the way, for a founder, for a CEO, you start to think this isn't fun anymore, and your team can feel it. So EOS kind of helped us realize that it is actually fun again, and we can see that light at the end of the tunnel. It's less messy, it's clear, we know where we're going. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Alice. Thank you. And
Yeah.
so you touched a little bit about the impact. Tell me a little bit, how do you see the future, the near future, now that we have this new way of operating?
So we're in the early days, Frank. I don't know if you remember that we're only, I think, 6.5 months into this thing. And so I know we have a journey ahead of us. We haven't even fully operationalized all of the tools of EOS, but the difference is quite amazing. I think um, the most, I guess, the biggest relief, or the best thing about this, is how the rest of the team has embraced it,
Mm.
and how they too felt that there was a need for something. And I think what I'm most excited about is just continuing with this process, getting us through our first annual, seeing how I mean, if we've already seen this much difference at this stage, I can only imagine what we could see going forward.
Yeah. Alice,
Mhm.
thank you so much for your time. I know you're on your way between Nairobi and managing everything that you're managing. So it's been such an honor to have you here on this short time. But more importantly, I'm so excited to work with you and your team and really impact the world the way you do. Thank you very much, Alice.
Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You too. Have a great day.
Bye bye.